Hi Math 1. Let's take a look at review topic where you are interpreting key features of a graph. So there's two things that you should be careful of when you're doing this. The first thing is make sure that you have the axes labeled. You have to label the x and y axes, okay? And then use those words and those units. So use the labels in your sentence. So if it's height in terms of feet, make sure you say feet in your sentence. If the x-axis is in terms of hours, make sure you say hours in your sentence. The second thing you should do, okay, is spend some time analyzing the graph and just try to say a little story to yourself. So what is happening in this graph? The more time you spend here thinking about the story, the easier the sentences will be. Okay? For example, this graph represents the height of a whale in terms of feet. So on the y-axis right here, let's go ahead and label this height of whale, and it's in terms of feet. And it says that the graph here is for each second. So the x-axis represents time, it's usually time, and it's in terms of seconds. So let's just take a look at this here. This is a whale, and the whale starts right here. Okay? Oh, the whale starts up at 30 feet. So that's where the whale starts. I'm just going to put a little start right here. And then what's happening to this whale? The whale's height goes down. It goes down, it goes down, okay? What's happening right there? Right there, the whale is hitting 0 feet. That must be the surface of the water. Then the whale goes underwater. Okay, then right here he's at the surface again. Then the whale goes up, 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 up. Wow, the whale goes really high. And then the whale comes back down. Okay, so this is the story of the height of a whale. Sometimes he's above the water, sometimes he's below the water. Okay, and so what this is right here, this is the surface of the water. All right, spend some time thinking about this story until it makes sense. Okay, how you state intervals and stuff, we've already gone over that, but let's work on the interpreting. So in terms of domain, okay, this is the start to the finish, 0 to 19. So something happens here and then all the way to over here. Okay, so what's happening during these 0 to 19 seconds? Something's happening for 19 seconds. Well, this is the height of the whale. The height of the whale changes for 19 seconds. The height of the whale changes, or you could say goes up and down. Or you could say the whale swims for 19 seconds. Or you could say from 0 to 19 seconds, that whole interval. Okay. Now how about the range? The range goes from the low to the high. I like to mark this on the graph. So this is the lowest. Okay, this is the lowest that the whale was ever at. This is the low, and then this is the high. This is the high. Okay, so we have -20 all the way up to 50. Okay, and what is this? This is feet. So something goes -20 all the way up to 50 feet. And what's going down and up like this? The whale. So the whale's height ranges from -20 feet all the way up to positive 50 feet. Some people like to say the whale went from 20 feet below the surface all the way up to 50 feet above the surface. Or he could say he went from negative 20 feet down all the way to 50 feet high. Okay, as long as you're saying both of these numbers, okay, and you have to say 2 from down here all the way up to up here, this entire interval. Okay, let's take a look at increasing. Okay, so increasing, we already have the answer right there. It's increasing this whole time. Okay, so what's happening to the whale during this time? Okay, something about the whale. The whale's going up. The height of the whale. The height of the whale. Okay, and when it says increasing, I like to use the word increasing in my answer. The height of the whale. The height of the whale. Okay, what's happening to the whale? He's going up. The height of the whale increases. Increases. When? When does it increase? Well, starting here all the way until here. I already have that answer, so let's make sure we use that. From 8 seconds all the way to 17 seconds. Decreasing is very similar. Decreasing means something's going down. Okay, so on the graph, lots of people like to color this. The whale's going down, down, down. Okay, and here, down, down, down. Okay, so what's going down? Well, the height of the whale is going down, is decreasing. The height of the whale. The height of the whale decreases. Decreases. Okay, it's going down. But when? We have to make sure we say these numbers here. From 0 to 8 seconds. And then he goes down again from 17 to 19 seconds. That's when the whale is going down. Is the whale ever constant? No, the whale's never constant, so we don't have to interpret that. Okay, I'm going to fold this up so we can keep looking at the graph while we do this next section right here. What about the x and y intercepts? The x and y intercepts, okay, where you touch the x-axis, okay, are these points right here. And what's happening to the whale at these two places? Not this entire time. From 6 to 11, he's under the water. But what about right there? The whale is not above water. He's not below water. He's right at the surface of the water. Or some people like to say he is 0 feet high. The whale is, you could say at the surface, okay, or is at 0 feet high. Okay, but when? When is he 0 feet high? Here, then he goes under, and then again there. Okay, at 6 seconds, and right here at 11 seconds. That's when he is at 0 feet high. What about the y-intercept? On the y-axis, here's the y-axis. Here's the y-intercept. What's happening to that whale? You could say at 0 seconds, he's 30 feet high. At 0 seconds. That's the 0, and that's the 30. Or you could say he starts. You could say starts, and that means 0 seconds. The whale starts 30 feet high. You could say 30 feet above the water. He starts 30 feet out of the water high, but you have to say 30 and the feet. Okay, and finally are the max and the mins. Okay, and we kind of already looked at this when we did a range. We went from below to the high, but how about that absolute maximum point right there? Okay, the maximum the whale ever got was right here. Okay, that's the max. That's the maximum. the highest he got. When it says maximum, I like to say that in my sentence. Okay, what's the highest the whale ever got? Well, the highest was 50 feet. Okay, so I'm going to say the highest, or you could say the maximum height. You should say something about maximum, or the farthest, or the most. Okay, so the highest the highest the whale got was 50 feet, and you could say 50 feet up into the air. He got 50 feet above sea level. You could be fancy with your sentence. But when did that happen? We also have to mention this other part. Well, that happened at 17 seconds. The highest the whale got was 50 feet at 17 seconds. The important thing to do, okay, is make sure you mention this number and those units, this number and his units when you're interpreting your sentence. Okay, and then the last one is the minimum. When you're doing minimum, make sure you say the least or the lowest, something about the fewest. Okay, so where is the minimum? I'm going to look down, down, down right here at the low. Okay, that's the lowest. That's the lowest, that's the minimum that the whale ever got. That is the lowest the whale ever got. The lowest the whale got. Okay, what was the lowest? He swam down, down, down. The lowest was negative 20 feet. Was negative 20 feet. Okay, so I mentioned this number, but when did that happen? When? Oh, it happened at 8. Okay, at 8 seconds. You don't want to say for 8 seconds. He wasn't down there that entire time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It wasn't until second 8 that he was at the lowest. Okay, so the lowest was this at that time. I hope this helps you with interpreting.